Hey guys, this is the second part of the Solis 11.4 kilowatt inverter series. Today we're going to wire this inverter up for grid tie mode only, and we're not going to have any batteries, we're not going to have a meter, and we're not going to have any connections on the backup port. It's going to be strictly grid tie only, just to make sure everything's working and verify that we can generate power on this. We're going to have the PV, about 2 kilowatts of PV going into it, and then we're going to have the grid connections connected. We're also going to commission it through the SolisCloud app over Bluetooth. All right, let's get to it. For this test, I'm just using number 10 wire, hook it into a 30 amp breaker. I'm waiting for some heavier gauge wire to come in. This will get us going though.
Before connecting PV, plan your strings. Check the MPPT and voltage limits for your model. The S6 series has an MPPT range roughly 80 to 520 volts DC, and on the 11.4 kilowatt unit, the full load MPPT sweet spot is approximately 230 to 450 volts DC. Aim to keep your strings in that lane under expected temps, and keep absolute max PV voltage under the inverter's 600 volts DC rating. The NEMA 4X enclosure gives you outdoor flexibility if needed. Here we bring PV on the left bottom, grid AC on the left side. Use proper strain reliefs, bonding bushings as required, and leave enough service loop to work inside the wire box. Polarity check each string at the disconnect. Land positives and negatives to the spring clamp PV terminals, 1 string per input. If you're using module-level RSD receivers, remember the Solis S6 has an integrated SunSpec certified transmitter. Use listed, compatible receivers and wire any external e-stop if required by your AHJ. Now do a quick pre-commissioning check. With the inverter DC switch off, energize the array and confirm string voltages and polarity at the disconnects. Turn on the AC backfeed breaker briefly and verify L1 to L2 is 240 volts AC and L to neutral is approximately 120 volts AC, then switch it back off. Now turn the DC switch on, then turn the AC breaker on. If your strings stay at safety voltage, toggle the RSD switch to run, so the transmitter wakes the receivers. The inverter should proceed to self-check.
Let me get a phone. All right, guys. Let's see what the app says.
Install and open SolisCloud. Go to Service, Local Debugging, Bluetooth Connection. Pick the inverter Bluetooth name, create the required 6-character password, and you're in. Here's the quick settings for grid tie only operation. Time date, enable follow phone time. Battery model, select no battery. Meter setting, pick no meter. Grid code. In the US, the default is UL-240V-18. There are a few areas that differ. Work mode, we choose feed-in priority, save, and exit. Give the inverter a few minutes to sync to the grid profile. You should see PV power, grid connection, OK, and export rising on the app. Confirm that PV voltage is in your expected MPPT window. Output current reasonable, and no alarms.
We're getting about 1,700 watts out to the grid right now. The inverter's set up as just a plain grid tie inverter right now. There's no battery on it. We've got solar coming in. The solar array is about a 2,000 watt array. Looks like everything's running all right so far. Okay, step 2 is a success. Bring it in there and show you what the connections are. So over here we've got our grid connections. You've got neutral, L1, L2. Down there's the ground. Then we've got the positive and negative solar coming in over here into the first MPPT. This is going to be the battery connection right here. And then this is where your backup loads tie into. And down here is all your communication ports. All right, guys, I hope you got some entertainment value out of that, and I hope it helps somebody. Stay tuned for the continuing saga, as we parallel these two inverters for the 23 kilowatts. So if you got some entertainment value out of that, sure would appreciate a like and subscribe if you're not subscribed. Appreciate you guys. Adios.